You packed carefully. Nothing illegal, nothing that could get you in trouble, no oversized liquids, no sharp objects, no restricted items. You even double-checked your carry-on and your checked luggage. Everything was exactly by the rules. You arrive at the airport early, check in like everyone else, and head towards security. At first, everything seems normal. People are walking through, bags are being scanned, agents are busy but polite. You think, this is going to be easy. Then it happens. Your boarding pass is scanned and the agent pauses. They glance at the screen, frown slightly, and call someone over. Suddenly, you're asked to step aside. Your bag is opened, every item pulled out, electronics swabbed, and you're asked a few extra questions. You ask why, expecting a simple answer. They say it's random. But as you look around, you notice others walking through without any trouble. You did nothing wrong, followed every rule, yet here you are, stopped and questioned. It doesn't feel random at all. And that's when it hits you. What if it wasn't random? What if something in the system singled you out before you even stepped foot at the checkpoint? How passenger screening actually works. What most people don't realize is that airport security doesn't start when you arrive at the checkpoint. It actually begins long before you even step into the terminal. Airlines send your information to government systems as soon as you book your ticket. Your full name, date of birth, gender, and sometimes even your travel history are shared with automated security programs. These systems are designed to quickly assess potential risks. They don't know who you are personally, they only look for patterns, matches, and flags. For example, if your name is similar to someone on a watch list, or if certain details in your passport match a high-risk profile, the system takes note. Even partial matches can trigger alerts. Next, a risk score is assigned based on multiple factors. Your booking history, the route you're flying, and even how recently you purchased the ticket can all influence this score. The higher the score, the more likely the system will flag you for extra screening. So by the time you reach the airport, the decision of whether you go through a normal checkpoint or get pulled aside has often already been made. This is why some passengers are stopped while others walk through without a second glance. It's not random. It's all happening behind the scenes, before you even get there. The name match problem. One of the biggest surprises for travelers is how something as simple as your name can cause problems at the airport. Security systems don't care about your identity in the way a human would. They don't know you personally. Instead, they look for patterns. They compare your name, birth date, and passport data against millions of records, searching for anything that could be even remotely risky. This is where the name match problem comes in. If you have a common name like Muhammad, Ahmed, or Ali, the chances of a partial match increase. The system might see your name and think, this could be someone on a watch list, even though it's not you. Slight spelling variations, Mohammed, 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 can also trigger flags because the system tries to account for typos or alternate spellings in its database. Other small details can make a difference too. Missing a middle name or having it spelled differently on your passport and ticket can look suspicious. Even sharing a birth year with someone on a watch list or having passport details that are similar to another person can raise a red flag. The unsettling truth is that you can be completely innocent and still get flagged. The system isn't judging you, it's only looking at patterns. And sometimes patterns look suspicious even when you're not. What triggers extra screening? Even after the system looks at your name and personal details, there are other factors that can make it more likely for you to be pulled aside. None of these mean you've done anything wrong. They don't indicate guilt. Instead, they simply increase the algorithm's attention, making the system more cautious. One common factor is one-way tickets. If you buy a ticket that only goes in one direction, especially internationally, it can raise a red flag. Security algorithms sometimes view one-way trips as higher risk because there's no planned return dates or pattern that shows typical travel behavior. Last-minute bookings are another trigger. If you buy a ticket just hours or a day before flying, the system may see it as unusual behavior. While this is often completely innocent, the algorithms are designed to notice anything outside the norm. Cash payments can also draw attention. Travelers who pay entirely in cash rather than using a credit card or a linked account may appear riskier in automated assessments. Again, it doesn't mean anything illegal is happening, it's just a factor the system tracks. International routes can matter too. Flying between certain countries or regions may be flagged simply because the system has higher scrutiny for those areas. This is based on risk data and travel patterns, not on who you are personally. Finally, gaps in travel history can trigger extra screening. If the system sees inconsistent travel patterns or sudden new trips without previous history, it may decide to flag you for a closer look. The important thing to remember is that all of these triggers are purely algorithmic. You could be completely innocent, following every rule, and still be selected for extra screening. The system is just doing its job of looking for patterns, and sometimes completely normal behavior looks suspicious.
What actually happens when you're flagged? Once the system flags you, the experience at the airport can feel sudden and intense, but it's all part of standard security procedures. One of the first signs is a mark on your boarding pass, something like the SSSS code used in certain programs. This code signals to airport staff that extra screening is required. You're then asked to step aside from the main line. A security officer may begin with a few additional questions, simple clarifications about your travel plans, connections, or the purpose of your trip. It's routine, and every question is meant to verify your identity and ensure safety, not to accuse you of anything. Your carry-on and sometimes checked bags are carefully unpacked. Each item is examined, and electronics like laptops or tablets may be swabbed for traces of explosive material. These swabs are a precautionary measure and do not imply wrongdoing. They're part of the standard process for flagged passengers. Electronic devices might also be powered on to verify functionality, and occasionally, files or data may be inspected in line with airport protocols. Every step is methodical, and officers follow strict guidelines to ensure the process is thorough but fair. While it can feel overwhelming, it's important to remember that this screening is procedural. Nothing about it should be interpreted as a personal accusation. The goal is simply to follow protocol and verify that every passenger meets safety requirements.
Is it random or targeted? Many travelers assume that being pulled aside at the airport is completely random. They tell themselves, "It's just luck, I got unlucky this time." But the truth is more complicated. While there is an element of randomness in some cases, most selections are guided by sophisticated algorithms. True random selection does exist, like certain lottery-style checks that occasionally pick passengers regardless of their profile. But for the majority of flagged passengers, the system relies on algorithmic selection. It analyzes patterns, compares passenger information to watch lists, and assigns risk scores based on multiple factors. This is why two people with very similar profiles may have completely different experiences at the same checkpoint. Watch list similarity is another key factor. Even if your name isn't exactly on a restricted list, a partial match, like a similar spelling or the same birth year, can trigger alerts. The system is designed to err on the side of caution, so it flags anyone whose data resembles higher-risk records. Risk layering also plays a role. It's not just one factor that determines if you're selected, it's the combination of multiple signals. Your name, your ticket type, your travel history, the route you're taking, and even minor inconsistencies all add up. When these layers intersect, the algorithm treats you as higher risk, even if you've done nothing wrong. By the end of this, it becomes clear what feels random often isn't. Most passengers aren't being singled out arbitrarily. The system has already decided who needs extra screening before they even reach the checkpoint. Understanding this makes the process less confusing and gives insight into how airports balance efficiency and security. How to reduce your chances of being flagged. While airport security procedures are largely automated and designed to catch potential risks, there are practical steps you can take to reduce the likelihood of being singled out. These steps won't guarantee that you'll never be selected, but they can help the system see you as a consistent, low-risk traveler.
The first and most important step is to always use your full legal name when booking flights. This includes the exact spelling as it appears on your passport or government-issued ID. Even small variations, like leaving out a middle name or using a nickname, can create a mismatch in the system and increase the chance of being flagged. If you have a middle name, use it consistently across all bookings and travel documents. This small detail helps avoid confusion and ensures the system recognizes you as the same individual every time. Similarly, double-check the spelling on your passport before making any travel arrangements. Typos, missing letters, or inconsistencies can trigger alerts in automated systems. For travelers who have experienced repeated issues or have common names, there's also the option to consider the redress process. This is a formal program that helps correct mistaken identity problems with airport security systems. While it requires a bit of paperwork, it can make future travel smoother and reduce unnecessary delays. Another simple but effective step is to book flights in advance whenever possible. Last-minute bookings are more likely to be flagged, as the system may interpret them as unusual behavior. Along with this, avoid using inconsistent name formats across different bookings, airlines, or frequent flyer accounts. Keeping everything uniform helps the algorithm recognize you as a regular, low-risk traveler. By following these straightforward steps, you can take control of what's within your power. While the system will always be cautious, consistent and accurate information reduces the chances of unnecessary delays, giving you a smoother, less stressful experience at the airport. Most people believe that airport security begins the moment they step up to the checkpoint. They think it's only when their bags are scanned or when they pass through the metal detector that any scrutiny starts. But the truth is quite different. Airport security doesn't wait for you to arrive. It begins the moment your name enters the system. From booking to boarding, every detail you provide is analyzed, compared, and scored long before you reach the terminal. Understanding this changes the way you approach travel. It's not about fear or suspicion, it's about awareness. Knowing how the system works allows you to prepare better, travel smarter, and avoid unnecessary delays. By paying attention to the small details, your name, your booking, your travel patterns, you can make the process smoother for yourself and reduce surprises at the airport. If you found this breakdown helpful and want to uncover more hidden systems behind the scenes of airports, security procedures, and travel operations, make sure to subscribe. There's a lot more insider information that most travelers never see, and these insights can save you time, stress, and confusion on your next trip.